A former slot performance analyst says the phrase, slots that pay huge on Saturdays, was never written in any report. What was written was high visibility win density, and it was treated like a weekend survival metric. He claims that on Saturdays, the casino doesn't need the floor to pay more overall. It needs a small set of machines to create wins that travel, wins that pull eyes, stop feet, and restart hope in people who were about to leave. A retired floor supervisor from a strip property described it in one line. Saturday is the only night we manage the slot floor like live theater. The 9 Saturday machines employees whisper about aren't magical cabinets. They are specific roles, machines chosen for how well their wins convert a crowd into staying time. Let's start with the most consistent Saturday performer staff, call the front door signal bank. Category number 1. Entrance-facing signal banks, the first machines a guest can see before they fully process where they are. These are not placed to be fair. They are placed to be remembered. On Saturdays, the entrance is a pressure point. It's where the building either feels alive or feels dead. A dead entrance makes the entire casino feel like a loss before anyone plays. So casinos build an immediate proof zone, machines with loud celebration packages, tall toppers, and clear win animations that can be understood from across the lobby line. The critical part is not the size of the payout. It's the public readability of the payout event. A small win that looks like a big moment can outperform a bigger win that looks quiet. Saturday is crowded enough that moments replicate. If one person stops to watch a celebration, 3 more people stop because someone stopped. That creates a microcrowd. A microcrowd creates legitimacy. Former staff describe this bank as a signal because it functions like a flare. It doesn't guide one player. It guides a whole room's mood. And once the room's mood is set, once the building feels like it's paying, people stop asking rational questions. They start collecting stories. In one Saturday log described by an ex-attendant, a guest arrived around 8:20 p.m., watched a win at the entrance bank, and repeated the same line to his group twice in the first 2 minutes. We walked in at the right time. Nothing about the guest's own results mattered more than that first sentence. The casino didn't capture his money with math. It captured his night with timing and placement. And that is why the entrance bank is always one of the Saturday machines employees talk about. Because it's not a machine. It's a first impression device. Category number 2. Main walkway beacons, machines placed like streetlights along the primary pedestrian lanes. These aren't designed for seated attention first. They are designed for moving attention. Saturday foot traffic has a different rhythm than weekday traffic. People drift in groups. They move between bars, restaurants, and shows. They are not searching for a game. They are searching for a feeling. Walkway beacons are built to inject that feeling without requiring commitment. The win packages on these machines are engineered to read instantly. Bright flashes, oversized win text, recognizable audio cues. The point is to create repeatable proof that can be seen by people who aren't even playing. A former slot shift manager described the walkway strategy as ambient winning. Not because everyone is winning, but because everyone is seeing someone else's screen celebrating. On Saturdays, that sight is enough to change behavior. It turns passing into pausing. Pausing into hovering. Hovering into sitting. Here's what most people miss. The casino doesn't need one huge jackpot on a Saturday to sell the night. It needs many visible celebrations distributed across the lanes, so the entire floor feels active from multiple angles. That's why beacons appear on walkways, not hidden in corners. They are the building's moving billboard. A Saturday example repeats across properties. A group walks by, hears a celebration, and one person stops just to watch. They aren't watching numbers. They are watching permission. Permission that something can happen here, tonight. That permission becomes the real product. Category number 3. Bar-adjacent loop machines, slots positioned near cocktail service points, lounge entries, and standing drink traffic. These machines aren't there because alcohol makes people play. They are there because alcohol makes people react. Saturday is a volume environment. More sound, more social friction, more impulsive movement. In that environment, the machines closest to bars become emotional reset buttons. A celebration sound cutting through conversation can redirect a group's attention instantly. Former employees call this area a loop because the behavior loops. Drink, wander, sit, talk, stand, drink, wander again. The casino likes loops because loops multiply decision points. Every loop is a chance to convert a social moment into a seated moment. The internal logic is simple. When people are social, they copy each other's energy. A win near a bar does not stay private. It becomes a group event. And group events spread faster than individual outcomes. One former attendant described Saturday bar-adjacent wins as crowd glue. Not because the win is huge, but because it keeps the group inside the casino's emotional temperature instead of drifting toward exits or other venues. The machine here functions less like a game and more like a social trigger, a device that manufactures a reason to stay another cycle. Category number 4, high-limit theater cabinets. Machines that look expensive, sound-controlled, and sit in calmer lighting with higher staff visibility. These machines play a different psychological role on Saturdays. They produce authority. Even for guests who never sit in high limit, the existence of high limit is proof that the building is serious. Saturday crowds include observers, people who came for nightlife and atmosphere. High-limit zones feed that atmosphere. The space feels curated. Quiet. Professional. Like money behaves differently there. Former floor staff describe high limit as a showroom. A win in high limit looks cleaner, more official, more real, because the environment makes it look real. The attendant response is tighter. The vibe is less chaotic. The visual language is premium. Here's the darker function. High limit theater doesn't just sell winning. It sells status proximity. On Saturdays, being near expensive-looking play can feel like participation, even without actual participation. That's why ex-employees include these cabinets in Saturday machines. Not because they pay more. Because they make the casino feel like the kind of place where big wins naturally happen. Category number 5. Progressive billboard walls, banks with large, climbing numbers displayed overhead or across linked screens. On Saturdays, these progressives don't act like games. They act like headlines. A climbing number is a story that writes itself. People don't need to understand probability to feel the weight of a large meter. The meter becomes a conversation starter between strangers. It becomes a reason to point. A reason to pause. A reason to believe that something is building. Former staff describe the progressive wall as a magnet because it captures attention even before anyone plays. The wall creates a shared focus point in a chaotic room. Saturday chaos needs shared focus points, or the floor feels scattered and cold. And the casino is careful with where these walls sit. They are positioned where crowds naturally cross, near central pods, near major lanes, near transitional zones between food, drink, and gaming. Because the meter is not meant for one person. It's meant for the room. On Saturdays, the progressive wall's job is to keep the entire casino under one silent promise. This number is getting big. That promise doesn't need to come true for everyone. It only needs to stay believable long enough to keep bodies in the building. Section 9. Conceptual breakthrough, 60 to 75 seconds. Here's the shift. The title talks like it's a list of lucky cabinets. Inside the casino, it's closer to a list of signal rolls. Saturday doesn't change the core math of slot play. Saturday changes the value of public wins. A public win is a recruitment event. It produces crowd. It produces stories. It produces the feeling that the night is alive. That's why ex-employees keep naming Saturday machines. They are not describing secret RNG behavior. They are describing a floor engineered to produce visible proof at peak traffic. Proof strong enough to override doubt, override boredom, and override the urge to leave. The casino's most valuable product on Saturday isn't a jackpot. It's belief with witnesses. Category number 6. New release pedestal slots, fresh cabinets with brighter toppers, cleaner chairs, and prime lighting that makes them feel new, even from a distance. Saturdays are when novelty performs best, Because the crowd is already in discovery mode. New machines do something old machines can't. They erase memory. There's no personal history attached. No, this one never does anything. The guest approaches with a clean psychological slate, and that slate is extremely valuable on a Saturday night. Former slot marketing staff describe Saturdays as the best time to seed a game. Not to seed payouts, to seed reputation. If a new cabinet gets associated with a memorable Saturday moment early, it can ride that reputation for weeks. People will come back and search for it by theme, not by logic. These machines are positioned where they can be noticed quickly. Near lanes, near social hubs, near transitions. Because the goal is not just to be played. The goal is to be talked about. Have you seen the new one? On Saturday, new becomes a multiplier for belief. Not because new machines are better. Because new machines are easier to imagine winning on. Category number 7. Cluster trap banks, large groups of identical games in one concentrated area. On Saturdays, clusters create the illusion of consensus. If many people are sitting here, it must be worth sitting here. A single machine can look lonely. A cluster looks like a destination. It can absorb groups, not just individuals. Saturday guests arrive in packs, and packs need adjacency. The cluster provides that. When a celebration happens in a cluster, the crowd's brain upgrades it from one person one to this whole area is active. That's the trap. The cluster turns a single event into a zone reputation. Former employees describe cluster zones as self-fueling. Occupancy creates occupancy. The bank looks popular, so it becomes popular, even if the outcomes are ordinary. Category number 8. ATM-adjacent catchers, machines placed near cash access points. Saturdays increase emotional pressure at these spots because the room is louder, the pacing is faster, and the night feels shorter. The ATM moment is not a gambling moment. It's a decision moment. It's a moment where someone is either stepping out of the story or doubling down on staying inside it. Machines near ATMs function as interruption devices. A celebration sound can delay a decision by seconds. A flashing topper can pull eyes. And in a casino, seconds matter because seconds become seat time. Former staff describe Saturdays at ATMs as hot corners, not because people win there, but because people make expensive decisions there, and anything that delays an exit is operationally valuable. So the 9 Saturday slots ex-employees talk about aren't a secret list of games that magically pay more. They are 9 roles inside a visibility system. The front door signal bank, promenade beacons, bar-adjacent loops, high-limit theater cabinets, progressive billboard walls, new release pedestals, cluster trap banks, ATM catchers, and cash-out sightline seats. Casinos don't need to change outcomes to change behavior. They change the room. They engineer what gets seen, what gets remembered, and what feels repeatable on the busiest night of the week. On Saturdays, the slot floor becomes live theater. Not to reward players. To preserve belief at peak traffic. Comment: which Saturday zone felt the most alive to you, and did it pull you deeper into the floor?